Got a message. Okay. So I think we're all in. I think I'm as available as I'm going to be. Hello, I'm Samsara Morgan. I'm the Executive Director of the Open Better Birth Foundation, Shiphrah Circle Community Doula Program, as well as the Better Birth Association of Harlem. And it is such a pleasure to have a dear friend and comrade in life, Sharita here from People's Community Medics, to teach us some wonderful stuff. I think it's really important for birth workers as well as the community to have in our bag of tricks the important information that she will share. And doulas, birth workers, we are first responders. So it is very important for us to know not just what happens to our beautiful pregnant people's bodies, but all the other ways that we can be helpful in a society that's more and more in crisis, unfortunately. So what I would like to invite Sharina to do is to unmute herself and she can introduce herself and let me know, Sharina, do you need to use the screen? Do you need to share screen?
I'm fine.
Here.
Hi. Can you hear me good? You can? Okay. Well, I gotta tell you, I text you, but I'm gonna have to tell you. So I'm sorry, you're looking way too cute. We got to listen. The whole works. Wait, I didn't get dressed up for this. I didn't know. I didn't even know. Yes.
It's
Thank
okay.
you for having me.
It's a pleasure and an honor, sister. It really, really is. You're looking cute too. You're representing.
I gotta represent. I got some shirts for everybody. If you know, I could get them to you, and if you want to, um, people can get these shirts. They can just give you the sizes, and we can make sure they get those along with packets and stuff like that too.
That would be fabulous. Is this the first time you're doing this online like this? Like over Zoom?
Uh-huh.
Is this the first time you're doing this workshop over Zoom?
No, it's the first time I did it in my new apartment with no furniture. So no, I've been doing trainings on Zoom since COVID.
God,
Yeah,
like all of us. Like all.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what I would do without Zoom. You know, with all the stuff that's going on in the world, like. But this has taught me, the COVID and everything has taught me that we can't be stopped. You see this, even
Yeah,
being sheltered in place and all of that, we're still figuring out a way to build our community. So I love it.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's been very helpful for sure. So I'm gonna turn everything over to you. You tell me if you need something from me, but it's your show. We're watching.
My show.
It's your show.
Oh, okay. Now I ain't really ever had my own show now that's the bomb. Sam, sorry. So what I usually like to do is I like to go around and ask everyone to give me their names, their pronouns, and you know, there are different things that they may want to add into the training, because first, that when People's Community Matters do our trainings, we like to communicate, and this is a group thing. So pretty much, if you can unmute yourself and have a conversation with me. Let this training be a conversation type thing. I don't like to talk at people, and I don't want to be boring. So if I'm boring, you got to be like, Sharina, give me the thumbs up. If you don't want to unmute yourself, just be like, girl, I'm about to go to sleep. Do something like that. Let me know. But I try not to be boring. But one of our things is each one teach one. So it's like, while we're training, and I may say something in my training that you may know or have knowledge of and want to add to that training, I'm open for that. So I would like for that to happen as well, because we in this together. So I figured that I don't know it all, and like all of us together is better than one, so we can kind of like figure it out
Yep.
and win that way.
Sounds great.
So I guess what we can do is I'll just say who I am. My name is Sharina, and I go by the pronoun she, her, and I'm one of the co-founders of People's Community Medics, and the other co-founder is my dear sweet sister, Leslie Taisha Phillips. And let me see. And I'll stop there, and then you, whoever want to give a shout out, tell me who you are, and what, if you with an organization or something like that, tell me what that is, and we'll go around.
Who's next?
I can start. Hi, my name is Mika Cade, and I'm a doula and the education coordinator for Oakland Better Birth Foundation. And I'm also one of Samsara's assistants. Yeah, that's me.
Hi.
I can go. My name's Kathleen. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a doula and part of Oakland Better Birth Foundation and Shiphrah Circle, and I am also one of Samsara's assistants.
I can go, hi, my name is Alyssa. I use she, her pronouns. I heard about this really cool workshop through Cornerstone Doula Trainings. I am a Cornerstone trained doula. I also, as my day job, I work as an advocate for an organization called Teen Success, which supports teen parents here in San Jose. They have organizations throughout the Bay Area, though. Yeah, that's me.
Hello.
I can go next. I am Julia. I use she, her pronouns as well. I also did Cornerstone's training for birth and postpartum, and I'm part of Shiphrah's community doula circle. So I'm a birth and postpartum doula full time, and I live here in Oakland. And that's me.
Hi, I'm Terry. I'm a birth and postpartum doula, certified aromatherapist, she, her, they, them pronouns, and I am the board president with the Mount Diablo Doula community in Walnut Creek.
Welcome, Mount Diablo community. How nice.
I guess we'll pop in. My name is Kimberly. I'm a Cornerstone doula as well, if you guys can hear us. And I use she, her pronouns.
My name's Stephen. I use the pronouns him, he. Kimberly invited me. I'm here to learn.
Figured why not both of us?
Why not?
I can go next. My name is Cristina Marisol, and I have been with Oakland Better Birth Foundation for many years now. I'm a community board member, and I'm also part of Shiphrah Circle. I'm a full spectrum doula. I'm a nurse, and I'm also a student midwife over at UCSF. And I've also done like some workshops with Cornerstone Doula Training. So yeah, that's me.
Wow.
Thank you. Who's next?
Welcome. My name is Anissa. Hi. I'm from Oakland, and I'm a doula with Samsara with Shiphrah Circle and a student. I'm glad to take this training too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that
everybody? No.
I can go. Hi, everyone. My name is Patricia, or I also go by Pati, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm a member of the Community Democracy Project, and that's how I heard about this. I was in a training that Sharina gave about the apocalypse preparation for that. And then I've also done doula training when I lived in Portland with Doula Caribe, which is based in Puerto Rico. And I just relocated back to Oakland before the pandemic. So I'm just excited to connect with other doulas and like get back into some birth work. I'm a children's librarian with the city of Oakland. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Yay, librarians. They rock.
Wow.
Who's next?
Now look at this space. Now I know we gonna each one teach one up in here, right?
You know what I'm saying? There's a few more people who haven't spoken.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Zaria, you first.
I am Zaria. I am also part of Shiphrah Circle with Samsara. I am a student doula, little doula in training.
Baby doula.
Yeah, I'm a baby doula. I am also like a pre-med student that's like about to start studying to go to medical school and kind of like understand that aspect. But right now I'm working as an MA also in the Mount Diablo area. So yeah, but
Cody, I think Cody is next. Did you speak yet, Cody?
No, I haven't. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Sorry. My name is Cody. Just became a nurse out here in Sacramento. I help doula my own kid's birth. So my wife's a doula. She's unable to be on the call, so I wanted to attend also.
That's very nice. Lovely to have you. Who's
Thanks.
next? Hina, have you spoken? No.
I'm gonna go. My name's Davina. I am a new doula, new birth doula, recently certified and recently joined Shiphrah Circle. I'm also a kids movement instructor, doing gymnastics and yoga and things like that, and help operations of a local company that does that in schools throughout the Bay Area. Yep, I'm glad to be here.
Nice to have you. Hina's not. Who has not introduced themselves?
I don't think we've heard from Hina. I could be wrong.
And Hina stepped away from the computer, so you know. If folks could turn their cameras on, it would be great to see who we're talking to. So we have a Jeremiah. We have a Chai, I believe, or Che, who has not spoken. If you, for some reason, don't wish to introduce yourself, you have that right to send me a little message, send me a little inner message so I'll know not to bug you. It's fine if you don't want to. Amy, have you spoken?
I'm here. Hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm so sorry. I thought I smelled my dog poop and panicked a little bit and walked away. Hi.
That's panic provoking. Yes, indeed. Say hi to everybody. It's okay.
So my name is Amy. I go by she, her, and they, them. I just saw the Facebook event page and I'm here.
Good to see you. And we have Elena is with us. She's a doula and mom putting her kids to sleep. Thank you for being here. How great is you can do that and still participate in the workshop. That's kind of cool. Ina is next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah. I'm a student doula. I went to with my friend. Didn't go as planned, but so was there. It was a very beautiful moment. I don't know. So you want me to talk about it later or just?
Right now, we're just saying who you are.
Yeah. So I'm a student doula, and I already did my first birth. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, everyone.
Congratulations on your first birth. Let's take a moment to just take a deep breath on that. That's a big deal. And we will talk about that next week, my friend. Yes, a little hard. Okay, has everybody said hello? Otherwise, we will just get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it then, boo. Okay, so here we go. People's Community Medics is grassroots. I always be the one who used to say, well, we're the grassy of all roots. Yeah, we are, because we poor, we don't have a lot of money, but we love our people, we love the community, and we know that what we train and what we talk about in our trainings is something worth more than what money can actually really provide for our people in the community. So for us to put like a price tag on people's community medics, it's very hard for us to do in that way, because we know that if we put a price tag on it, the people who can't afford to get the knowledge that we want to get, and those are the ones who are suffering in the community, cannot afford to pay for that. And so um, we started out going around and training in the community of Oakland and all over area for free of charge. And people started coming out to us early as 2011. And so Leslie and I, we were members of the Oscar Grant Committee. I don't know if everybody heard of Oscar Grant, but hey, you just see the case open up again.
Yeah,
All
definitely
right,
was
all
there
right.
with the BART actions
Yes,
and all of that for sure.
yes. Yes. So Leslie and I were members of the Oscar Grant Committee against police brutality and state oppression. And I joined the Oscar Grant Committee fighting justice for my brother, Antoine Thomas, who is a prisoner that's been locked up for a long time and right now need to be released due to all this COVID stuff. But that's what I was that's what I met her fighting for at that time, and also working with trying to build something in the community for at risk youth that were I was trying to keep off the streets, keep out of trouble, doing artwork and just trying to like find their talent and meet with people in the community to offer the kids the pathway to whatever talent that they had, just to get them off the streets from doing any crime or anything like that. So that's how I met Leslie and joined the Oscar Grant Committee. And to joining that, I was started to be a part of the steering committee, where we were invited out to do an independent investigation of Oscar Grant's murder. Leslie and I and her late husband Marty Payne went to this independent investigation downtown Broadway at Pete's Cafe. Y'all know what Pete's is off of Broadway? So we were outside having coffee, and we had a meeting with the whistleblower. His name is Sean Gillis, and he was very instrumental in giving us information and things that the community was questioning about Oscar Grant's death. And one of the biggest questions that alarmed the people in the community was, could Oscar have lived from the gunshot wounds that he received if he would have been transported to the hospital immediately? We found out that it took the EMTs like 20, took them at least 20 minutes to call the ambulance for Oscar. So the question that we had for Sean Gillis was, could Oscar had lived if he would have been called, because it took them forever to call for him. And we know that like the first hour if someone's bleeding, that's the golden hour. So somebody can bleed to death in an hour's time. So 20 minutes before calling EMTs, that's very crucial time. And so people wanted to know. And Sean Gillis told us that no, Oscar could not have lived because of the way that he was shot. He was shot on the concrete. So when the bullet went in, it ricocheted and went back in and did more injuries. And so So Oscar could not have lived if they even would have called and took him seconds after he was shot. So that was really heartbreaking and sad too at the same time going through that. And I grew up with my mom being the first responder in the hood. And so I had this questions that's been burning me since I was a very little kid, because my mom used to assist a lot of people in the hood, and I would always see the EMTs on the corner, and I would see the injured person on the ground, and the police would put the tape up, and the crowd would be really going off. As a kid, I would see like all of these adults, and I'm watching everybody and what they're doing, and a lot of times people are like really frantic, scared, screaming, hollering, mad about whoever it is that got hurt, that type of thing. And really what would be like one that would scream out a lot to me as a kid was like, where is the ambulance, where is it, and those types of things, and why they're not here, and what's taking them so long, and those types of things were asked when I was a kid. So I asked Sean Gillis why was that like that, and he told me, he said that's because there is a policy that the police use, and it's not a written policy, and it's called death enforcement. And so it's like, well, I want to say it like this. It's that we believe that some of the things that go on in the community and the lack of response time and lack of the EMTs being called is sometimes because we believe that the police may have like a past history relationship with the person, or some kind of encounter with the person that may have been that's been injured and shot, or we don't understand like really why it takes so long for them to okay for the EMTs to come in. And see, for us, me telling you this is that I just want you to know that it is not up to the EMTs to come in. So it's not like I want to say like EMTs don't have no control over when they can come into a scene to assist. They have to wait to get a clearance from the police to say that it's safe, it's okay to come into a scene.
Hmm.
So a lot of times it happens where they don't call, and they deem like the hollering, the crying, the screaming, people being very frantic and upset. They deem that unsafe. If you want, like there is like a story of Kenneth Harding Jr. He was murdered in San Francisco by by the police over the $2 muni ticket in Bayview. His shooting, when he got shot, they actually filmed it. It's on YouTube. They shot that baby, and the police shot him in the neck, and they knew he was passing and he was bleeding to death, and they wouldn't even allow him to even be prayed with during that time. And so and that's like one of the things that whistleblower referred to when he was talking about it with us was that like that's what that's what he considered like um something of death enforcement, something that they do just to not allow emergency EMTs to come in to help. So Leslie and I were horrified, and her late husband Marty were very horrified by finding out that like a lot of the deaths in the community is because of the slow response time. And so we were in the car, and her husband He was driving fast. He was going between like 60 to 80 back and forth. You know how, 580 freeway, East Oakland 580. Yeah, we was on 580 going towards East Oakland from downtown Broadway before I made it to where I lived at on 85th between Dowling and Bancroft. We made it there, People's Community Medics was born. We left that meeting and got in the car. We were horrified about what we heard in our meeting. We wanted to figure out something to do to save our people. Um, I just wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. I didn't know how. Sister was like, how we gonna do it? I was thinking like more like a protest type thing, be on the back of the truck and go down with my bullhorn and tell people what to do, how to treat gunshot. I didn't know what to do. All I know is that we came up with, we wanted to save our people by all means necessary. And from that day on, from that meeting, People's Community Medics was born, and I have not stopped since. So I just want to tell you that. And I want to give out a shout to Leslie Taisha Phillips. I gotta say, she don't do the trainings with me as sometimes I could try to talk her into doing it, but we gotta give it up to her. Sister Ben, an activist and working in the community since she was 14 years old. And she may get a little upset if I tell you her age, but I'm gonna say she around 60-ish. You feel me? She don't look it, but I just want to put it out there. She don't look it, but you know what I'm saying, like putting in all that work in the community and all the stuff she's been doing all of these years. She have a right to sit down when she feel like it, jump into People's Community Medics when she feel like it, just whatever she feel like doing, this is her time. And so it's like, I do what I do, and she supports and does what she does when she feels like it. And that's how we still good. I just want to let y'all know that. And I did call her before this show, so before this training, just to give her a shout out, just to hear her voice. But yeah, so
wonderful.
Yes, she is. Yes. Okay, so anybody have any questions about People's Community Medics or anything they want to ask me so far between this?
I'm really happy to hear the backstory. I mean, I've been loving you and Leslie for quite a while, but I did not know the birth of People's Community Medics, so it's nice to hear.
Thank you. Yes. It's like it's amazing because like when we started People's Community Medics, we knew we was on to something, but we didn't know how big it was gonna be. We just know that even if we was able to just do our block or our community or just Oakland at that time or the Bay Area, San Francisco, and we was just, our vision was to teach everybody, but we was just able to do that. I probably still would have been just as happy, but it's like I'm super juiced because we've been training all around. Like our trainings go around the world, and I'm so blessed because like the more people are putting into the community and saving each other, and reaching out and doing community love with each other and not treating your neighbors like strangers and all of that stuff. So all of those things matter, especially like in the times that we're in right now. And so for us to be doing that for all of this time since like I said, 2011. So I've been doing it since 2011. So all of this time before the pandemic, before all of the stuff, I would just been going around from door to door, seemed like block from block, community to community, city to city, wherever we're invited out, that's where we be at. And You see, right now I'm in my apartment. I don't have like no furniture in here yet or anything, but I'm here training because I know that what we're training, what we train is so important. You know, like there's people who are doctors and all of that, doctors, lawyers, you name it, nurses and everything that joins in and do our trainings and be educated on the things that we talk about. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
But just getting that understanding and how the understanding between their knowledge and how to deal with the community, that's sometimes people don't have that.
Yep.
And so I like to show people like talk to people about how our community love on each other and how we can love on each other to support each other, whatever knowledge you have. That's why we have the each one teach one, because it goes further. Like now here y'all are doulas. Now y'all got me wanting to birth a baby besides delivering one myself. You feel me? So I'm just trying to see, so I'm inspired. I'm inspired. But I have like the Healing Clinic Collective. So those are that's big. So I'm loving the fact that I've been working with the Healing Clinic Collective since 2013. So I'm trying to see how we all could collab something together and save our people by all means necessary. So like yeah, a team, we can make the dream work. We can make it work. Yeah.
And it's necessary too. Imagine, I mean, one of the things that you said that really struck me was the thought that police would hear people wailing in pain and crying and being upset and feel that that's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's obscene to me.
Yes, it is. And that's like, I feel like those are policies that need to be dealt with in the system. Like I don't I feel like that should be a part of a training that the police should receive, is like some humanization type training. like
Exactly.
like this is how you do in the community. Like I feel like there's got to be like something that has to be done with as far as um community and police, and understanding that like feeling the importance of someone being hurt and harmed and not having that urgency of help, and that like there's like a conversation that needs to happen, a policy, some policy changing need to happen with the police all around the world, especially when it comes to the medical part of it. Like if because it's like there's people who are dying on our streets that are bleeding to death because of that reason. Not only because they got shot, but because like the slow response. And it doesn't even have to be like gunshots that they are slow responsive in. There was a little baby girl that was in a bad car accident that I responded to, and it was in the hood, and they let that baby die. They like it took them 45 minutes to even let the police, the ambulance come in. And this poor child, they like, and the other passenger was barely clinging on to life, and the only thing that was keeping that person alive is because I was praying with them and was talking to them. Every time I would stop talking to them, they would like doze off and go off, and I would try to wake them back up by talking to them and trying to keep them alive. But the police, they make you leave them people. Like if like first responders, like from the hood, they have threatened to arrest me. You understand what I'm saying? And responding to somebody in the community, so those are things that need to be changed in with the policy. Like if there's a first responder out there responding to the emergency, and if we're out there holding the blood in, leave us alone and let us hold the blood in and let us help them out until the EMTs get there. You're not, you have an ethical choice to do it if you want to do it. So it's like they have a kit. We pay for their kit. You understand? So we pay for them to get trained. So they go through an extensive training, like the training that I'm giving, but probably like even more bougier, like Trump bougie. You know, well, he got the good the doctor. You know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I mean by that. Y'all know exactly what I mean by that. But they got the kit, and they kit they got all this stuff, quick clot, you name it, and they know how to save a life.
Right.
If you look at somebody that's hurt on the streets and you got a kid in your trunk of your car, and you could save them, but you be like, nah, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's because you don't want to. Like sometimes I just wish they would just sit their kid on the curb and just open it up and just leave. If they don't want to do it, let somebody else do it. Just put the supplies out there so somebody else can do it if you have it in your car to use to save lives. So that's my thing about policy changing with the police, and my spiel on them, and how I wish that that was a part of the change that happens with the shift that's going on. Like, we first responders need some kind of support in there, like not the threats of being arrested, not the harsh talking to. I'm not an enemy. I love the people. I'm a single parent. I got 4 kids, and I've been raising them to do the same in the community. So it's like, yeah, lay off of us out here. Like let us, yeah, yeah. Any questions? No questions.
Any questions or feelings, or something you just is coming up from you inside of you from what Shireen is saying? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, well, one thing I just wanted to add is that it kind of reminds me also whenever there's like the street protests and then there's like the street medics, that the street medics tend to have like a target on their back. Like they don't want them helping out people who are hurt. And it's quite dangerous to be a street medic. So what I'm hearing you is saying about like people's community, the work that y'all are doing, it doesn't surprise me at all to hear. I mean, it's really sad to hear, but it also really doesn't surprise me to hear that it's like, even during times of war, it's usually like the doctors and stuff like that that get targeted, hospitals. So it leads me to believe that it's done very intentionally, is what it makes me think.
Right. And I've been on the grounds. I am one of those medics that has been on the grounds doing protests that turned violent due to the chemical warfare of people just trying to get away from the tear gassing, all of that stuff, flashbangs, all those things. I've been, and it's like a total war zone. And it don't be like, it be like the people are like fear for their life of, and also like there's tear gas, there's all these things going on, and people are running for their lives at this point. When you have police with guns and using weapons on them out there while we're protesting. And I just really have to put that out there. I've been protesting and marching part of my whole life. And this 25 years of me being an adult and marching and organizing in a community, and you can look at my whole friend list. Anybody that I've ever organized with, we have never sat down at a table at a meeting and decided to tear up our communities. We have never done that. So those people that are out there in the hood that are tearing up our communities, that's doing all that violent stuff, those are people that are not organizers. They're not the organizers that I've ever organized with, and I've organized with so many people, and I've never ever had a conversation or been in a meeting and organize anything violent or anything that caused harm to our hood. Never. And so I just wanted to put that out there. I just felt like, I don't know what that looked like. Sound like a little spirit jumped on me and said, tell them. So I just had to tell y'all, like, we're not the ones that is like tearing up our hood and our community. We don't push that. And so like sometimes we get a lot of flack for things that happen out there in while protesting and stuff like that. And the organizers and the people that's like a part of the hood that's organizing and care about what's going on and a part of the everyday stuff. Because there's people who only go out there just only for protest, but there's everyday organizer that is breathing and think only of change and that do the work every. Now he wanna call me. Y'all see that? You see that? That he wanna FaceTime. Anyway,
all right.
So you know, I just have to put that out there. But yeah, we have not we don't organize to tear up our community. So I just wanted to tell you that we truly love our hood. We love our people. We love, things are not at its best, but we're not tearing it up because it's not at its best. We want it better. We want to amplify we want it to be beautiful. We want it to grow. That's what we're about. And like tearing up the community is not something that we push. So I just want to tell you that, and People's Freedom Medics didn't do it neither, but they do be. So what I'm saying to you is, when those violent protests, when they use the chemical on us, it don't be because we out there doing something. It be because we're out there, and the reason that we're out there, that they're angry. Like, even like when we're out there, we protest about Oscar. We want justice. We wanted justice for Oscar. We wanted justice for Oscar. And they use the chemicals on us out there protesting and all of that because we wanted justice. So they felt like that was violent enough to use those chemicals on us. Like, and so that's what I'm saying. So out there is like a war zone. It's a war zone, but they the ones who have the weapons, the chemicals, and they the ones who's using it on us. So it's just like when you see them out there and they getting ready to put on the mask, and you see them had a mask on, all of that stuff. When they have that on them, you already know that they're about to use something on you. They're going to protect themselves so that they don't get that chemical in them, but you as a civilian, you need to know that is what's about to happen when you're out there, no matter if it's a peaceful march or not. It can happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a strange concept of who's actually being violent, So if you come to a crowd that is protesting, but you're the one with the rubber bullets and you're the one with the gas, who's violent? Who's violent?
Who's violent? It's not us. So speaking of those types of protests, just to throw this out there since we're talking about that. So if you are out there protesting and marching and there happen to be some tear gassing that goes on, I just want to put that out there, being that we're talking about that, and I'm not sure, but these are acids. So if it gets into your mouth, you can chew about 5 of these and get some water and swish it around in your mouth and spit it out. Don't swallow. That would clear your mouth out and stop it from burning. And then you just do it again, and kind of gargle and spit it out. And then that would get it out of your mouth. If it gets into your eyes, you can get water. They used to say use milk, magnesia, and all of that stuff. But as time went on, I learned and educated myself a little bit more and just use some water. So if you use cold water to flush your eyes out, it would get it would stop it from burning. So here you go. So if you squirt it in your eye, you squirt the water in your eyes, you spray it and you hold your head to the side, let it go out that way. So you spray the water and let the chemicals come out that way. If you put it into this way, the chemical will go into the ducts of your eyes and cause more damage. But you have to keep flushing your eyes out. And if you're out there protesting, please don't wear contacts. Because if you wear contacts, the chemicals can get behind the contacts and it can cause your eyes more damage.
Ouch.
So, yeah. And so you take shower and like cold water, the cold water so that it can cool your body off. If you turn it on hot, warm water, it intensifies the burn. So just put it on cool so let it cool off your body. Those clothes, like if you're protesting, you should wear layers of clothes. So you should just so if you wear layers of clothing, you got a little plastic bag, just throw your clothes that you got on in the little plastic bag and leave it at the stairs before you take it in. If you know, some people be fancy. I've seen some people in some nice clothes out there protesting. So I seen them in heels. I not me per se. I've seen them in heels and sandals. I mean, some sort. I done seen it all. Mini skirts, naked, you name it. They protesting it. I'm telling you. They do. So you got your heels on and all of that stuff. You need to have you a pair of running tennis shoes in your backpack. That type of stuff. So that way you can take care of yourself because as you know, the mayor of Oakland have not paid for any potholes. So you may fall and break your ankle at any given time because she not fix shit. I just want to put that out there. Just want to
that is so true.
That's it. She has not fixed shit. You liable to fall into a sinkhole hole. You know what I'm saying? That part. So you just gotta be real careful out there while you're protesting and stuff because it is very unbalanced out there. And also we're gonna get into I want to talk to people about the COVID too, and about building up your immune system. And so that's been a project of People's Community Medics since COVID had hit. So I've been working with people in the community and getting donations. And sometimes like the donations be of vitamins, different types of vitamins. I have these. I have vitamin E's. I have all different types of vitamins that will help build up one's immune system. So this is the part right here that I need like group participation on. And Tim, sorry, are you taking notes of this or?
I am not taking notes. It is being recorded though.
So it's being recorded? Okay. So I think we could go around the room and I want people to give me 2 things that you're doing to build up your immune system. And if you're not, say that, and then maybe folks that is can maybe get you some things that you may need to build your immune system up in your family. So we can go. I could start what I do. So I take elderberry. I've been taking elderberry for years, so I don't really get sick like that. So I have elderberry. I take vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E. Um, but so I have these zinc pills, zinc. I'm starting to drink more water. And I do a lot of teas, like mint teas and a lot of chamomile type teas when it's time for me to rest, those types of things. Um, and I have knowledge of different types of herbs that can be used for my immune system. And like I said, I work with the Healing Clinic Collective, and so a lot of those healers make up fire ciders, those types of things for me. I have all different types of potions that that the healers make, and also that they make, and also that could be donated to the community as well. So um that's what I do so far for my immune system, and we could go around.
So I'll say I definitely take vitamin C, uh, vitamin D, zinc. There's somebody that I'm missing. Vitamin A as well. I try to make sure to do my exercises every day, make sure I'm physically active, super important. And so builds endorphins and all that good stuff. Prayer and meditation are very, very, very important to me. Connection with good friends. I'm blessed in that the work that I do is very life-giving and very life-affirming. So when I'm talking about babies and placentas, I definitely feel pretty invincible.
Babies and placenta.
Placentas, we love placentas. Time with my beautiful family is really important. Watching the news but trying not to get lost in it, which is really hard, is another
Yes.
one. That's me.
I can go. Oh,
go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Right. I was gonna say I also take vitamins. I take liposomal vitamin D and vitamin C. It's supposed to be fast acting. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I just take those. I am also taking like turmeric, which is like supposed to help with your memory. It's supposed to help with a lot of stuff, joint health, a lot of gut health, a lot of things. My mom makes these like tonics too that are like really good for your liver. So it's like a mixture of apples, turmeric, ginger, dandelion, and burdock root, and that's like really good. It's really good. It's this green color. Don't let it throw you off. It's delicious.
I want that recipe.
Everything good for us is green. We know that.
Yeah, and so yeah, I do yoga twice, like every 2 days, and so yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, sorry.
I'll go really quick.
Apple.
Kathleen was first.
Oh.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
I realize that I have not been doing such a great job taking care of myself, being stuck in my house. a lot of the time. But I try to do our 5-finger eating. So I'm trying to eat whole food sources of vitamin C and whole, like getting in leafy greens so that I'm getting vitamins from those, because I'm terrible at taking vitamins. I have the intention always, but I'm like, okay, at least if I can get it in my food, that's a
The
start.
best way to get it, actually.
Yeah. And for my mental health, I pet my dog. Because I think that helps, you know, if you lessen your stress, then you're boosting your immune system.
Sure.
And drinking hot tea to start my day.
I do lots of things already mentioned. Just a reminder to take your vitamin D with a lipid of some kind, like an omega or a little shot of ghee or something, any kind of oil that will help your body cling on to it and put it where it's supposed to go. And combine it with vitamin K as well if you're looking for bone health from it. I do get a lot of my vitamins from just trying to get from food. So I do a lot of home craft, making my own sauerkraut, kombucha, things like that. Exercise, meditation. Not so good at that, but I know to do it. I'm good at it when I do it. I'm not so good at reminding myself to do it regularly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have lots of recipes. Anybody wants recipes?
Thank you.
I'll go. I take a lot of vitamin C, and I have a multivitamin that I take. And I just get out in the sun a lot. That helps. And I work at a daycare that's like mostly outside. So we get a lot of sunlight, and I feel like that pretty much sustains my life. Yoga should be around more, but it's like I resonate. It's just like in the back of my brain, but I know that helps. Just like keep my blood flowing in general. Yeah, that's my self-care.
Great, thank you. Davina had her hand up.
Oh, yeah, I think my main things are mostly just drinking a ton of water, trying to make sure I get at least half my weight in ounces every day, and just I've started running a lot more recently, so just getting in exercise, and then I try to just breathe deeply a lot during the day, because I feel like our organs don't get enough breath to all of them, and so I try to just kind of stop and just breathe deep. But other than that, I haven't been taking any supplements. I'm just trying to eat healthy as I can, to just stay healthy. Yeah.
Thank you. Who's next?
I can go.
We had a hand up here right before you, Mika. So you have to turn your mic on.
Wait, me or someone else?
Stephen, and then you, Mika.
So I take a bunch of supplements. I don't even remember what some of them are for at this point. I've been taking them for so long, but I do a multivitamin. I do 10,000 of vitamin D every day. I take NAC, which I believe is an amino acid. I take a methylated B vitamin, so my body doesn't have to put in the work of changing that up in the body. I take about 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And then I think the big thing for me is I also take adrenal support stuff. I think especially for people with, if you have estrogen and progesterone in your body, when your adrenals aren't healthy, they start to pull from those, which messes up a bunch of other things in your body. So that's been a big thing for me. I think especially with COVID is doing that, and then getting sleep. That is hard, but I find for me that's one of the big things. If I can get a solid 8 hours of sleep, that helps. And some like good old CBD really helps as well for self-care. I've been dabbling in that lately, and I've been finding that that's been really, really helpful with me finding balances and sleeping good, or just feeling a little bit less anxious during the day.
Don't forget walking the dogs.
Yes.
Getting out in the sun.
Yeah.
Natural sunlight.
Yeah. We have dogs with us, so
Oh.
we're yeah. So getting these guys out, like someone else said, with having animals and stuff, that seems to be really helpful.
I think vitamin D is a big one. I read something recently where they study correlated low vitamin D levels to how severe people are affected by COVID.
Exactly.
I think that's big, but yeah, everybody else is listed, all good stuff.
Yeah, and I second the request for the recipe that somebody requested. That sounded good.
So just along those lines, if folks have their family tonics, please feel free to email me that, and with your permission, I'll share it with everybody whose email that I have. So then if you want the tonic, email oaklandbetterbirth@gmail.com saying you want it, and then I'll share whatever is shared with me. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Who's next?
I think it was me.
Yeah.
So I, similar like to the what I started with COVID in particular was the vitamin C, D, zinc. Yeah. And I've been really good lately about drinking a ton of water. I use an app to help me remember. It bugs me. It's a little plant that grows every time I drink water. Ridiculous, but it works.
I want that app.
It's called Plant Nanny.
Yeah.
What? Oh my god.
One of our clients. That's how I found out about it.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. And it works. And I drink water because I want to see what this plant's going to look like when it grows up.
Whatever gets us to do it, okay? That's genius right there. That's genius.
I do like sleep is fundamental for me. I feel a huge difference between when I get sleep and decent sleep and I don't. I tend to also eat like our 5-finger diet, so good amount of protein, food source of vitamin C, green leafy veggies, whole grains, all of that, good fats. And this was a good reminder that I need to make my annual batch of fire cider. I usually do that around in the fall. It's one of the markings of fall for me, and elderberry. So I need to do that again. And I'm definitely looking for, I feel like I'm in need of some liver support in particular right now.
Okay. So that's in your notes. So how do we get you what you need for liver support?
Zaria, that's why I wanted to ask what your recipe is. I don't know if you're able to get it and send it to Samsara later.
Yeah, I can even send it in this like chat thing.
If you have it, that'd be great. Send it to everyone.
Because when I heard you say that, I was like, oh, that's kind of what I need.
I'm on it.
I really very much like what's happening here, because this is definitely what Sharina was talking about, folks sharing resources and not waiting for some big paternal system to save us. It's just doing what we have, using what we have to help ourselves stay healthy. It's beautiful. Does anybody else? There were a couple of folks who didn't want to speak, but they posted in the chat so you can read their responses. Does anybody else want to speak? Patricia.
To add to what everyone said, I also like to drink oregano tea. That's something that I learned from someone in my family, and that's helpful for like digestion health, but also for like any respiratory. I found when I'm getting a cold or I'm about to, I'll drink oregano tea and it like helps so much. And then I also drink yerba mate, which is a green tea. I'm addicted to yerba mate. And so I drink it in the mornings, also, like someone said, to start your day with tea. And then I'm also really into garlic. So I'll like eat, I just love the flavor of garlic too. So I eat like raw garlic with my meals. But yeah, I like cooking with garlic and I've done garlic teas too. But those are some things that I don't think were mentioned.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
I can go, but I don't do much different than anyone else. And I didn't really change anything for COVID specifically. So this is kind of inspiring. But I drink a lot of water and I would say spinach and arugula in almost every meal. And then a lot of walks and connecting with friends and family.
Excellent. Thank you, Julia.
Okay. Is that everybody?
I think it's everybody who wants to speak.
Okay. Yes, so I said that to say that, especially with COVID and everything, mask and all of that, I just always just tell people, please wear your mask. I still somehow, some way, still go somewhere in the store where there's people are not even doing that, or even social distancing. It's not just the bad behavior of our president. It's a lot of people that's not the president, that's not in that position, that is willingly out here just like not covering up. So to say that, I have masks, a couple of masks that was donated to people's community medics, and I want to see about how I can get them distributed out to the community. So if anybody want to join on that task, and like maybe have a list of people, or just say, for instance, you could supply people's community medics with an address or something like that, and or I can, or give it to Samsora or something like that, and I can package up these kits. So the kits that I have, that I'm putting together, like I told you, I'm in the middle of the move. It is to build the immune system, and it is to give out some of the vitamins and herbs and things that are that have already been donated to people's community medics, and along with masks that were donated to people's community medics for the community. So if anyone wanted to join in on that, that would be lovely. Please let Samsara know, or contact people's community medics. So being that we are an hour in, do anyone need to take a break or anything? Okay, so we're gonna go into gunshots. So, oh goodness. So we know that in our communities, there's a lot of times people are getting shot, and we know that the first 60 minutes of somebody getting shot is the golden hour. So everything that I'm teaching you tonight and your training, this is something that um, it's real in our community. It's real all over, and these are things that we need to teach our children as well, on how to prevent these types of things, or how to save each other's lives. Because when things are happening, when our little kids be out there riding their bikes and they scrape their knee, they most likely with their friend, the little friend, or something like that. And so we just ask that, like up under their little bikes and little bike seats, put them a little medic pack up under the bike seat, what I'm talking about. Put a little kit under your baby's bike seat with band-aids, wipes for their, to clean their sore up, stuff like that. it's very helpful to teach our children on how to be more independent and how to care for themselves or somebody else that they may be in contact with. So it'd be good to always remember that bottom of the seat. My mom used to do it for me, so that's how I know. Like, like I used to have my little stuff duct tape up under the bicycle seat.
That's
And so, and
genius.
I was
That's
the one who
genius.
had I was the one who had to use the kit on myself because I used to hurt myself, used to fall all the time. But yes, so up under the seat, you can help them out by and help them be more independent, and it'll have more children involved in doing that too as well. It's good to have. So we're gonna go into gunshot wounds. So gunshot wounds and bleeding trauma. So we're gonna talk about first bleeding trauma. From a say for instance, someone got stabbed. If someone got stabbed, you don't take the object out of the person. If the object is still in the person, you leave it in them. You don't pull it out because it can cause more injuries, more damage to the organs on the inside. So we ask that you leave that in place. Y'all got that? If something is impaled in the eye, so we ask that you know what a Dixie cup look like. You can cut the inside of the Dixie cup, but you can like if it's not that long, you can just cover whatever it is up with a Dixie cup and tape it around your eye, and that would keep you from touching because if something goes to your eye, whether it's sand, dirt, or whatever. Our first thing is to what? Do this, right? To rub it. And so, like, if something is in it, your first thought is to keep reaching at it. So if you cover it, it'll stop the eye from moving around. And also, it will stop you from being able to touch and make the damages worse. Anybody got that? Everybody got that with the okay. Okay. So here we go. Gunshot wounds and other bleeding trauma. Can y'all see that? So we ask that you call 911 or the Oakland Fire Department. You see the number? The Oakland Fire Department is area code 510 444 1616. That's the Oakland Fire Department. Tell you why we asked you to call the fire department over calling 911. When you call 911 in Oakland, the calls get routed out to Benicia, all these different places before it get dispatched to an actual dispatch for 911. It get routed out. So it doesn't yeah, so it doesn't get directly called in. So that's an hesitation too, and time lapping. But if you call the fire department, they respond and they can treat the victim. And if you call them, call Oakland Fire, call the fire department, they're nicer. They don't ask you all the questions that the 911 operator asks. I get the 911, I get mad all the time when I think about when I've called 911 and they ask me what color the person is, that type of thing. So, like, you already know what neighborhood we're in, where you at, what color is the victim, and this, that, and the other. And all of that has to matter before you, like, send somebody out that could be dying. So, the fire department, they're so gentle and they come out, they talk to you, respect when you call them. I don't care what area code I've called the fire department, they have always been very gentle and they have always tried their best to save the lives of the people in the community. They use their kits and they use everything that they can do to provide. an extra life on to somebody or extend somebody's life. So I'll go with the fire department. Yay, fire. And they fine.
And isn't that just a true thing? I mean, really, that's just, I don't know how that works out, but firemen are just fine. That's
my dream is to like have a mini picture with the firefighters. You know, I want to be in their calendar. So
correct. Now, is that the case? What you just said, is that the case in other communities? Because we have folks from like Mount Diablo in the house with us. Is it the same scenario that you would still recommend?
That's what I tell people all around the world because they're the same. Like in our communities, the lack of response is the slow response is real. So when what is a real eye opener was a real eye opener for me was Hurricane Katrina. And that's way in Louisiana, and you see how long it took for the people in Louisiana to receive any type of assistance, any type of help, that type of thing. So, with that being said, it's happening all around the world, and so like we have to be self-sufficient. We talking about gunshot wounds and stuff like that, but that's all around everything. Everything that I'm saying is real. Like we have to learn how to take care of ourselves. We have to. Just like we're talking about the medicine and how we can help out each other and give those recipes out, and we're talking about building up the immune system. We all got elders in the community that need these things that we're talking about.
Right.
That's why I talk about these things, is because we have to save our own. Who else is going to save our community? Who else is going to save our family? Who else is going to save our friends? Not our president, not what we have going on now. You see what he doing. So we really have to learn how to really, really like say, okay, this day I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna help somebody. I'm gonna do something. We have to put that love in our community, until our people, until our friends, until our family. And we cannot assume that just because they're grown and just because they're older that they know. And we can't assume that just because they set in their ways and all the stuff that they won't change and they won't try it or something like that. Especially like a lot of our elders are very, very scared and very, very nervous about the COVID anyway. And so if those things are offered to them, that's going to help them extend their lives and help them be stronger, these elders is going to do it. So I'm telling y'all this because it's like I'm talking about gunshot wounds, but I want us all to think about as a whole on what that looks like in our community and what we can do if we have to do it together, or if you want to do it separately or whatever, how you can build on what we're talking about and making it greater, like in helping wise, like even like if you want to help with people's community medics and help me do my vision with it as well, I'm down. So I just wanted to tell y'all that.
Absolutely.
So we asked that someone shot, we asked you to do no harm, check the area, and note the time. So we asked you to check the area of where the person was shot because sometimes the shooter is still there, or sometimes it's just not safe for you to go at that time. So you have to give it its time to do before you respond. Make sure you're not putting your own self in harm's way. Put your gloves on and check for the entrance and the exit wound. Now that's deep. So I tell you to put on gloves. I tell you to put on gloves. But in the hood, everybody not fortunate. Everybody don't have gloves. So you can use plastic bags that you go shopping with, whatever it is to cover your hands up. You don't have to worry about cross contamination or, oh, this bag is dirty or any of that. They will give them the best antibiotics in the world. And trust me, if somebody hurt, they ain't gonna be like, oh, that bag dirty you touching me with. They not gonna be tripping, you know, that type of thing. And a note to this on the side, please ask for permission from the person that you're helping. Ask for permission to touch and do anything that I'm telling you to do. Ask for permission, because it's good to get that kind of respect from them, because they want you. A lot of times, even if they're out of it and unconscious or not there with you, you don't think they can hear you. So like, you can actually talk someone into living, pray somebody into living. You can talk to them. Just because you don't see them like actively having a conversation with you, you still need to talk it over with them and tell them what you're doing to their body, okay? Especially, and if they're giving you permission. So the gloves, you can use bags and tie it around your hands and use, if you don't have that. And check for the entries and the exit wound. So when we talk about the entries and the exit wound, the entry wound is usually small. The exit wound is big. But guess what? Sometimes it's not an exit wound. And sometimes it is. And sometimes the bullet, when it go in one way, it might not come out directly in the back, straight out where it went in at. It may come out your hip. It may come out a whole nother part of the body. So you have to feel around for wet spots to see where that person is bleeding at, especially if the person have on dark clothes, that type of stuff. If it's dark outside, you got to be able to like rub it and feel the moistness or something like that as you rub, touching around on the person as you looking for the exit wound, entry wound, exit wound. Anybody got any questions on entry wound and exit wounds? I need new cards. These are like 15 years old, shook it. They are flimsy and everything, but they still work. Writing's still there. And put pressure on the entry wound and the exit wound. Can you see that? Is everybody still there?
Yes.
Okay. Put pressure on the entry wound and exit wound. So if you apply pressure on someone that is shot, you put the pressure on the entry wound and the exit wound. While you're applying the pressure, you're holding it down as hard as you can on both sides. And if you're holding it down, like time, like really at this point, like if you're assisting somebody that's been shot, time to you is like, it's going like they're not coming fast enough, and you feel like you've been there forever. Sometimes you feel like you've been there longer than what you have been, that type of thing, because your adrenaline, the community is going wild, everybody's screaming and hollering at this point. While you're trying to help out, you're dealing with all of that and dealing with the community as well and the victim. So what you're telling the victim is, you're doing your best, you're doing what you can. And if people are screaming and hollering, you can try to like talk to them and try to get them to calm down as well, because the community needs that. They need to know that, because those are the signs that they wait until that when they don't hear it, when they hear it slow down some, that's when the EMTs are able to come in. So we try to keep the community kind of calm and on like and calm and understanding that you're doing what you gotta, what you're trying to do, and we need the EMTs to come in, and the only way they can come in is if we show sign that we can calm down or something like that. Y'all get it? So we ask that you keep the pressure on. So when I say keep the pressure on, keep it on, because if you let up off of it, the blood gushes out and the blood pressure drops. and you have to start all over again with the blood flowing. So the blood, while you holding it in, it's not gonna like not do it. It's not gonna not bleed. It's gonna bleed, but it won't bleed be as bad. You're slowing it down. That's just like the same thing about people's community medics. We're not replacing the EMTs. We just adding the cushion between the time that the accident happened and the time that the EMTs are able to arrive to do the work. Y'all get it? So it's like, and for the life of me, don't argue with no one. So like if people are arguing, people are in some type of thing, you have to do what you gotta do for your safety. You can't stay there. Don't stay there and argue with the crowd, get into it with people, that type of thing. Because safety is everything out there in the hood, wherever you are, even if you out there just even if you out there protesting and stuff like that, safety is everything when you're out there. You can't trust that you're going to a peaceful march and that nothing will happen, because even peaceful marches, people do things that they shouldn't be doing. So,
Davina has her hand up. Okay, your that little icon is up on your screen.
who, me?
Davina
I
has
don't
the
know what
little
that's
hand
about.
icon up on your screen.
Huh. Doing it by itself.
Yeah. Whoops. That's scary. Go ahead, Sharina.
Oh, okay. So, that's my thing with the gunshot wounds. It's like keep the pressure on until the EMTs get there. That's my training on gunshot wounds and bleeding trauma. We have 30 minutes. We can have a question. We can go into question and answer.
I have a question. It's about like, so similarly, like with a stab wound, like would you want to keep the bullet like where it is and apply the pressure, or would you want to take that out and apply the pressure?
Um, you don't take anything out. You don't take the bullet out. You don't do anything out of your scope. So what you're doing is right then and there, you're holding the blood in, and you can use to hold the blood in. I didn't tell you, but you can use towels, you can use hoodies, you can use. I'm just giving out shirts. You can do all of that to hold the blood in, but do not dig and pull anything out of anybody. Like wilderness training and like extensive things may have to be done for like desperate measures in case something happens and you're out in the wilderness, or like this situation with Hurricane Katrina or something like that. You still have to remember not to pull anything out of the person, because if you pull it out, they can bleed more and it can damage the organs more. So I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would suggest like basically trying to hold it in place and keeping the pressure on it to keep it in place and to kind of like duct tape it down on around it and try to keep that person more secure as possible. So if there is a knife in somebody's stomach, so you keep it in there and you try to like put things around it to hold it in that place of where it was, so that the person can hold on to that versus holding on to the knife and everything. So they just hold it into place, to keep them from doing further damage. You see what I'm saying? So, did I answer your question? Yeah. Don't go telling nobody people's community mess told you to dig a bullet out, pour a little liquor on it, all that stuff you seen on in the old Western movies. Like, they do, they pour what they be pouring whiskey on it, moonshine. Don't be pouring all that on them people and trying to dig out the bullets and saying people's community medics told you that. See, I had to put it on there as a disclaimer. We didn't teach y'all that. We didn't say do that. We didn't say do all of that. Any more questions?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had a question about with applying pressure, if the wound was like close to the spine. Like I know they usually caution you about not moving someone if it's close to the spine. If you have any recommendations on how to possibly put pressure on, you know, like say if it's an entry wound in the front and exit at the back, like how best to apply pressure with still not maybe moving someone very much.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're not supposed to like move anybody like to that point of like shifting their body that much. I have helped somebody who was he was in a bad motorcycle accident. Somebody hit and ran on a motorcycle. And so he went up in the air, and when he came down, he must have landed on something that like stabbed him in the stomach. And when he landed, he was on his stomach. And so I didn't have a wound in the back, but he was on his stomach. And of course, you know, you're not supposed to move them or turn them over, any of that. But what I did do was I saw where the blood was coming out at, and I stuffed up under there where his stomach, where the leaking was. I just stuffed, there was the people from the community gave me like beach towels types of things, towels and stuff. That's what I was getting from them. I don't know, maybe they just, I don't know how it all happened, but I had got a bunch of like beach towel size, beach towel size, beach size towels, beach size towels. Okay. I got a bunch of those, and I just like stuffed it under him, and that managed to hold the blood in from wherever he was, where the blood was coming from. I never got a chance to see the exact where the exact wound was itself, but I was able to help him out by stuffing it under there, and he applied his own pressure to it because his body weight was what was doing the applying the pressure. um and then during that time, there was community. There was this lady. She was screaming, "Oh my gosh, he's dead!" So it's like he was breathing. I was watching him breathe. So it's like she was screaming, "He's dead! He's dead! Oh my God, he's dead! He's..." And she was screaming, screaming, screaming. And there was somebody there trying to calm her down. But what only thing that really got her to calm down was the fact that I was like, "Hey sis," like, you know, I had to get at her like, "Hey sis, keep breathing." Like I had to tell him, "You breathing, don't believe her," because you know, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like, "Oh, I am dead," and go on to the light on us, right? We don't want that to happen. So we just gotta go ahead on, and we gotta talk to our community. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to be like, "Hey sis, you know, he breathing, see his stomach going up and down," you know, say stuff like that. And then she kind of like, "Oh, okay." She stopped that shit. But I'm just saying, she had spazzed out and left with me. She was, "He's dead, he's dying, he's ain't not breathing." She just was screaming it. And so that's why I'm telling you that part, being a first responder and dealing with all of that, you have to be able to balance yourself out, be able to talk to the people that the person that you're helping, and also dealing with the people that's in the community that's watching you do it, because they are the ones who are like hacker critical on some real shit, and they watching, and but they're standing around not because they nosy. So that's another thing, is they want to help. So you can ask each one of these people that's standing out there to do something, and they'll do it. I've had guys from the hood to take their shirts off their backs to give to me to help somebody out that was in a bad situation. I've had them to, I had guys to fuss and yell at me and all the stuff for touching a loved one. Don't be doing that. Don't be, not knowing what I'm there for at first. And then when they start to see that you're there to help and you're trying to do the best you can, they kind of lay off of you. Um, that's how it's been in the community for me. All of these years, I never really had a lot of problems out of the community other than them like getting mad because it's not a million of me everywhere that can come out to all of these different scenes and all of that stuff. And sometimes they don't realize like all of the horror and things like that. The real thing about it is you really, if you step into this role of life and you decide to get out there and do this, it's not pretty. It's not pretty all the time. It's not pretty. My pretty, what I call pretty, is somebody using my skills and saving lives and that type of stuff. My kind of beautiful is I'm seeing kids not causing no harm to each other. My kind of pretty is like us saving each other and living longer, and our elders are smiling, our elders are healthy, and we're living in, and we're building our own love because they don't love us, so we gotta love on them. And it's a lot of times people don't know that just giving love to somebody who never received it is a beautiful thing. It will help somebody change their life. I just feel like Trump never got a hug. You know what I'm saying? His mama and his daddy, they probably never hugged him. That is a angry individual that could not a million. They had a lot of money, but not no nurturing and love and tenderness and none of that. I cannot believe that for the life of me. So I say that to say, like, everybody needs some love. So if you got some love to give to me, I need love. But if you got some love to give out to the community and stuff like that, just know that being a first responder, you're gonna see some things that is not, that you think that you're not gonna see. Like, for real, I've seen some scary things. I've seen beautiful things come out of a scary situation. But note that the reward is not always what you think it is. It's not what you always think it is. And don't beat yourself up. Like, I used to beat myself up because I wasn't able to save somebody, or I used to feel like I could do something extra, or what if I was there a little sooner, or I used to take myself through a lot. So what I'm telling you is, through your journey, don't beat yourself up. Do what you can, and what you can't do, don't overdo yourself, because your mental status, all of that stuff is important. So you have to learn how to decompress and balance yourself out. At least balance yourself out for your family and give yourself enough time to decompress before you jump out there and do the rest. And only put boundaries on yourself, because you know what you can do and what you can't do. And so be honest with yourself, be real with yourself, or what you could do for the community. And if you don't want to deal with that type of thing, like be out there active in the community doing that, you can always still host these types of training like Samsara has done. And you can always like invite more people, and then those people would get educated and get trained on this type of thing. We have different levels of people's community medics. So we also teach on seizures as well. We also teach more intense on the chemical warfare with protesting. We teach on a little bit more on like herbalist training, like natural disaster type things. And I also train on evacuating, and how to get everything that you need that's important under 2 hours, and packing up all your important things like under 2 hours. So I have that kind of training on what to do, and with the fires and stuff. And I've teamed up, and I have great friends in the community that know how to make homemade air filters and stuff. And so they do those types of trainings as well. So it's like I can link up with a group of different people from all walks. Say for instance, y'all are doulas. We can do a training on first response birthing and what that looks like, with the situations and the times that we're in. Like we need to know what to do, like what to do, how to deliver a baby in a situation of like Hurricane Katrina or like a natural disaster or something of that nature. So just think about how important your work is to the community as well, and how you can help like plug into people's community medics on the level of making that something that we can add to our packet. So we have this packet. I mean, this is not a packet yet, but it's my handout that I put inside the packet. And it's the instructions on seizures and the gunshot wounds and stuff that we talked about. I have it in Spanish as well on the back. And I'm looking for somebody, if somebody want to translate this in Swahili, I always put that out there. I do want this in Swahili. That would be a great gift for People's Community Matters, is to have this translated in Swahili. But if you have another language that you want to put this in, please let me know. We can make that happen as well. Also, if you have something that you want to summarize and have a little write up in a package that I give out to the community on first response birthing, it can actually go in a packet too, and I can hand those out in the community as well. And we need to figure out how we can team up and do more work together.
Well, we definitely need to make that happen. I really so appreciate you, Sharina. And I wanted to say that one of the things that struck me about our time together is that it's such a there's simple things that can save a life. That
Yes.
it's not a great big complicated deal.
No.
Just that being able to have the presence of mind to step up, to be calm, and to just know what to do in that moment until the more technical help arrives means everything.
It does.
And we know that from other forms of first aid. This information that you shared with us this evening should be part of first aid, right?
Right.
Because, unfortunately, we live in one of the most violent countries on the planet, and we should know about that basic stuff. I'm thinking we're pushing close to 9 o'clock, and I do want us to end pretty much on time. Do we have time to talk about seizures at all? At 8:47?
What time is it?
8:47.
Yep.
Cool.
So we have seizures. So when someone is having a seizure, there's different types of seizures that they have. Some people may stare out of space. Some people clench their teeth. You never really can just like say exactly what type of seizure a person's having unless you are used to it, used to someone having it or that type of nature. But we ask that if someone is having a seizure, you clear the area around the person. Clear the area. So, meaning that like say for instance you sitting at home and you on a couch and someone just starts to have a seizure. And sometimes when a person has a seizure, they well in their arms and they're shaking, their teeth are clenching, all of that stuff is going on at this time, right? And their arms are welling. Everybody's seen that, I'm sure, maybe. We ask that you clear the area. So move the tables out the way, move stuff out the way of that person. If and also like grab something, maybe okay, we're gonna say you're somewhere and you don't have a pillow. Just say you don't have a pillow, but you got a sweater or a jacket or something like that, because the person usually is banging their head, right? So what we ask you to do is to put something under the head, whether it's a hoodie balled up or a towel balled up or a pillow, whatever you can do to soften that blow to the head, right? Because the more that person hit their head and it's banging on the floor, concrete or whatever, it's causing more damage. You're moving stuff out the way, it'll stop them from like further damaging their hands and their arms and those types of things, and it could stop them from actually breaking a bone. Um, I also want to tell people like you cannot stop someone from seizing. I've heard so many horror stories of someone trying to lay on somebody, slap them, hold them down, all of those abusive ass things I've heard being done during time that somebody was seizing. And back in the day when my mom was, when she used to help people out when I was a young kid, I used to always watch her like help them out and all of that stuff. But I never seen her slap nobody or nothing like that. But there was a theory. This theory to go around and tell people, you got to stop them from swallowing their tongue. Do you ever heard that saying like if somebody having a seizure they can swallow their tongue? They don't swallow their tongue. They can't swallow their tongue. So we ask you that you don't put anything into a person's mouth that's having the seizure. Don't put your finger in there. They'll bite your finger off. You put an object in their mouth. Say, for instance, you put a lighter in their mouth. They can break this off and it can lodge into their throat and it can cause more damages. So don't put anything into anybody's mouth. We ask that you just clear the area, let the season take its course, right? We ask that you put the person in the rescue position. I, you can't see because I don't know what happened with my other sign. Somebody took off with it, so I just have to write rescue position right here. So the rescue position is the actual person that is laying on his side from his heart. So they land, and so all of the saliva that's coming out of that person's mouth is able to come out. So a lot of times when somebody's having a seizure, they drown because on the saliva that they have, right? So if you put them over on their side in the rescue position on their side, whatever's in their mouth will be allowed to come out. You got that? Here we go again with this 911 fire department. So we just tell you call the fire department. Okay. So note that if someone is under the age of 18, they have to go with the EMTs. But if they over the age of 18, they don't have to go. So it's always good to just ask, do you want me to call an ambulance for you to come? Ask them, give them a choice, because sometimes that choice means it means a lot. Like sometimes people can get in trouble, go to jail just for being at the wrong place and having a seizure or whatever the case may be. We just don't want to get people in trouble, and we need to be mindful and ask them for permission. Do you want me to call 911? Do you want me to call ambulance? Do you want me to call, in these situations, you want me to call your family? Those types of things, versus like this 911 situation, especially with somebody having a seizure. Okay, you have to be careful of that. If it's a baby, you call right away. Don't question it. You call ambulance right away for a baby. Okay, and always we ask that you take note of the time of the seizure because that's important. So when the EMTs come, you'll be able to say, oh, they were seizing for 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is, and that could determine what level or what kind of seizure that person is having.
Yeah.
Okay, so I say do no harm, and check the area for the time. So when I say do no harm, means don't do anything out of your scope. Don't do anything that outside of what you've been taught. Do everything that you have been taught that's in your scope, and that way you'll be covered legally. If you do something that you have not been trained in and that's out of your scope, you can be sued, and it would not be as considered covered under the Good Samaritan law. Okay.
That's a very, very important point. Folks know that according to the Good Samaritan law, if you come upon an emergency situation and you try to help and you stay within your scope, like you're not trying to pretend you're a doctor, you're acting like a person providing first aid, right? That's the scope we're talking about. Then you cannot be sued for anything that comes as a result of your doing that.
Right.
But if you act outside of your scope, if you're doing medical things, like doulas to get this, right? We have to act like doulas. If we don't act like doulas, we're in trouble. If we're trying to be OBs, we're in trouble. So, or midwives. So if we stay in scope and we show up and do our best in that scope, we're not liable for what we do.
Right. Right. And so we ask that you do not embarrass. So a lot of times when somebody have a seizure, they lose their bodily fluids, they pee on themselves, stuff like that. I usually tell these to talk to kids when I talk to children, because my thing is like preventing bullying. And so I tell kids, it's not nice to be like, oh, he peed on himself. Oh, he did this and the other night. Those types of things you don't blow up. You don't say. And also, we don't say things like, why they having the seizures and those types of things. We know that they was popping them mollies or whatever. That's not for us to do. Not as first responders, is to judge people and also to like make them feel bad for needing help. So that's like those are big things about me is I don't want no one feeling bad for needing my help, whether it's for food or whatever. I like to leave people with dignity and respect. So we like for that to be a part of the training. Like always leave people with dignity and respect. And people's community medics have never ever made anybody check the box on whether we want to save you or not, whether you're white, black, green, Chinese, purple, whatever it was. I don't even know. I could have, do you know what I'm saying? I could have saved the police out there. I could have saved the police kid out there. I don't know because I never asked those questions because that's not important to me. It's the life that somebody's living that's important to me. That's why I teach my kids that those types of things are not important. The living part is. So if you out there and you want to help out, don't embarrass and let's take care of each other. So I did it. I did the training. I got it all. It's 8:58. Any questions?
Questions?
I was curious, Sharina, because you mentioned your mama a few times. It sounds like she was like really a big part of you doing the work that you do. I don't know if she's still with us or if you got to work with her at any point.
Okay, so yes, my mom was the first responder ever since I was a little kid. So that's why I'm not scared to go into the community and help out. It's because I was like growing up with her, pulling me into situations that other mothers wasn't pulling their kids. Like, come on, let's go out here and help me. But yeah, I grew up with her being the first responder in the hood, and my mom passed away in 2013, and she was very, very proud of me when she passed away for starting People's Community Medics, and she did get a chance to see me doing it. Even in her dying days, she was unselfishly like trying to like share me with everybody. Like, it was so important for me to get out there and do it. Even on her deathbed, her dying days, she was still like, go do that training. If someone called for me to be there, she pushed me to do that. And so that's why I still do it, I guess, because it's a part of me. But it's like also like my way of healing, and like and how I deal with missing her and keeping her alive is like I'm doing something that she was doing. Only thing is she didn't do the training, she was just doing the actual work, and I just transformed what she taught me and instilled in me to be into the community. And the way that she raised me and raised us to be is how I talk to the community on how to love on each other, because that's how she taught me. Yeah.
It's an incredible legacy. And for you to share with us, it's deeply appreciated.
Thank you.
Very much so. So let's have a round of applause.
Thank you,
Sabrina. Thank you. I am just honored to know you and know more about you from this presentation. And we want to just dedicate this time to your beautiful mama and all the community mamas who taught us how to live. It's one of the things I firmly believe, that a parent's job is to teach their child how to live on this earth. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those things. You know, when we get a more peaceful world, we can do some more peaceful things. But in the world we're living in, the parent's job is to teach their child how to survive and thrive and help others. So, you know, you're definitely, I know she's in heaven just loving on you right now.
Thank you. I know she is, and I know she is. She's proud. I bring her up all the time. I bring her and Marty up, and all of my trainings to keep them uplifted in the spirit, because those are our ancestors. Absolutely. And all of this wouldn't be possible if neither one of them was around, because just like, even like, he's such a missing piece of People's Community Medics. Till it's like I always keep Marty uplifted and all of that, because he was our film person. He helped set up our stuff. He did our traveling. He was our driver, all of that. So
we'll lift him up also.
Lift him up also.
Absolutely.
And I also want to tell people, if you want to donate to People's Community Medics, please do. I'm doing this out of my apartment right now with no furniture, nothing in it at this point. And yeah, and so it's like I'm starting kind of like over again in a way. But I have to. It's a good thing that I'm doing it. I need the train. I needed to do that. So it's like I have to relocate and be somewhere to be safe. And so it's like, if people want to donate to People's Community Medics, whether it be money, vitamins, whatever it is, gauze, gloves, tinctures, education, those types of things, please let me know. Please look me up. Tell me you met me during this Zoom class and you want to, this Zoom training, and you want to do collab and do more work. Whatever it is, let me know. If you have access to media coverage or something like that, that's another thing that I'm looking for, somebody who has access to TV right now, because I have a couple of people that I've known that has come up missing. in the community, and like a couple of runaway kids too. Their parents desperately need some help with getting their kid, and like the people calling the police and trying to get a report out from them. The police is telling them, unless it's a crime because he ran away, there's nothing that we can do. But I feel like there is something that we can do because he's a kid. He's 14 years old and he's run away. So of course he do need to be home with his parents, and his parents do need to know that he's safe. And I've seen this kid being missing. I think he's been missing for at least 6 days now, 6 or 7 days. He has
Wow.
not been
Wow.
home. And so that's scary. And
You,
so like
you could send, if there's pictures or any information that the families want to have shared around, give it to me and I'll share it with all the doulas and we'll get that information out for sure.
yeah, so I wanted to see like maybe if folks want to be a part of a team of people like just pushing for help with the media with our missing children, because children of color come up missing and we do not
Nobody
get
cares about
any
that.
type of media play, no type of not a lot of news coverage. The story be very short and not even too much, not a lot of description, not a lot of help. There's I've heard people, I've seen people post under the comment, oh, they seen him at the store, that type of stuff. He done walked away. You know what I'm saying? So there's like no type of support there. And we as a community need to figure out how to support us single mothers or us mothers out there with children that need like just a little point of guidance. I'm guarantee that kid probably got is so talented and probably can use his talent and have his talent um pushed out there, like like say for instance he does music, he needs somebody to help him do the music, whatever it is, to stop these kids from that type of direction. We
Yeah.
the community should do that.
I hear you, my dear. Please, we definitely will talk. And if anyone wants to get in touch with Sharina, what is the email for or the website for medics?
People's Community Medics at Gmail is my email. People's Community Medics .org is the website.
Sounds
And
good.
I have a new website that I just haven't really pushed out there yet, and that's online. It's on Facebook. So it's like I've been so busy. Like if you don't know, I'm in a storm. So it's like so much stuff has been going on in my life, so I just haven't been able to like take it all in. So it's kind of like if you want to volunteer time to help with people's community medics, media stuff, all of that stuff I need help with, and answering my emails and all of that stuff I need help with. So
Well,
man,
definitely,
folks want to
if
get in it.
anybody is available to do that incredible help, please feel free to get in touch with Sharina. Open Better Birth Foundation is a grassroots organization as well, providing birth and postpartum support and training to folks, and doing our very best to not let the person's income have anything to do with the care that they receive, childbirth education, and other sorts of parenting education and mentoring. Um, all the information to donate to Open Better Birth Foundation as well as People Community Medics is in the invite for this event. You were sent like whatever the document that lets you get into this event has all that information on there. Please feel free to donate to both organizations. Please feel free, probably sometime tomorrow, the recording of our time together will be available on our Oakland Better Birth Foundation YouTube channel. Please feel free to share it all around. I will post information there. Folks can still continue to make donations. All the information will be in the description box of the video. If you can think of other trainings you would like us to do with People's Community Medics, please let me know, because Sharina's my girl. and we'll make it happen. I think each one teach one is one of the most powerful statements ever uttered by a human being. And us being able to take care of each other in the happy times as well as the not so happy times is the key to our humanity. You must never lose that. You must never turn that over to the patriarchy or governments or people who don't really have our best interests at mind. We have our best interests at mind, and we should do that to take care of each other. I'm really proud of this group of people that have sat here for 2 hours listening to this beautiful stuff. I acknowledge the messages from the folks who were taking care of young children, so they had to leave us early, but they all said goodbye. This was a beautiful, multiracial group of humans. You know, it just really made my heart sing to see all of you all here. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Peace and baby blessings to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
Good night. Oh, Sam, sorry, we did it.
You sure did. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was really beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This was